going on, everybody? Welcome to episode 881 of FloWrestling Radio Live. It's a Wednesday. I'm your host, Christian Pyles, joined today by James Dean Rader and the Basement Brigade of Ben Funky Askren and Shane Sparks, both coming at us live, subterranean, underground. FRL Underground, we could call it. What's up, boys?
I'm doing pretty well today. How about yourself?
So good. Doing very well.
Guys,
Shane...
I'm fired up because right now I feel like it's 1976. You got that music. I'm looking at JD Rader. I feel like I'm in Studio 54 in New York City.
Man, I'm just thankful Shane never got unleashed, or JD, into Studio 54, because I don't know if the JD and Shane that we know and love would emerge out of it.
Might not have came back.
Yeah,
my guess is with JD, it would have been right to the front of the line, maybe going in the back door. We would have been taken care of well, JD,
yeah,
for sure.
I got connections.
JD would know a few guys for sure. JD's probably one of those guys. He's friends with the owner. Just follow me.
Yep. I see that for sure. Well, man, so much to get to. Fun weekend of wrestling. Shane, I kind of like to just start with you. Big Ten dual season has kicked off. What were you excited about from last weekend?
Man, I'm always looking for stories. You know, you want stories. Don't have a dog in the fight looking for stories. So doing a little research, Kale's best team, 2017, 146.5 points.
Mm-hmm.
Can this team score more than 146 at the tournament? I think there's a good possibility they can.
Definitely
and that team,
possible.
if you remember, 5 national champs, but this team could do it. Could this be Kale's best team ever? That's the question I'm asking myself right now.
Man, that's a great question. And I think it could be. And because you've got the combination of like the 2017 5 champs, but not a ton of other All-Americans. But now it's like, other than 125, which weight are you writing off that could not place? And you have the factor of you have several national champions already, and you have a number one guy in Kirk Fleet who can clearly win that title. And then you've got this Levi Haynes that Ben and JD and really everyone's pretty high on, and Bo Bartlett's top 5 now.
You bring up a real good point, Christian. I'm going to just intercede here real quick. One thing where I think they can do it is, and I think this is pretty relevant, when you look at 141 and 157, I think we'd all agree, you look at 2 weight classes where it's really up in the air. Those 2 are probably most up in the air. Like, if they had a stud 165-pounder, the reality is if he was really, really, really good, you might be like, yeah, maybe he's going to take 6. Then he could be a stud. Bartlett can win it. There's no question Bo Bartlett can win it at 140. I'm not saying he does, but there's no doubt he can win it. And at 157, Levi Haynes, again, small sample, but 157 is that weight class is up for grabs. And maybe that's a guy that places high at 157.
The 3 most wide open weights, they got big dogs at. They got Bo, they got Levi Haynes, and they got Max Dean, who's the returning NCAA champ. Those are the most wide open weights, but they have hammers there. You factor that in. You factor in the fact that they have national champion Carter, national champion Aaron Brooks, national champion Roman Bravo Young, and Max Dean. It could be their best team ever.
It doesn't feel like it because those aren't bonus point guys. They're not your Zanes and your Knowles that are out there just annihilating dudes. So right away you're like, no, this team isn't better. But then you kind of think about it.
Well,
it'll be close.
If you're going off of like NCAA points and NCAA finishes,
it would be interesting. It'd be fun to do one of our Corona classics, the hypothetical dual meet.
Corona Classic.
That was fun. We had so many fake dual meets, and we actually got people screaming at each other.
Jay. Christian. You're thinking about you're thinking retrospectively, but in the moment it was like, what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? And then we had to make everyone mad at each other because we gotta do something. So I might as well do like the best versus the best, and then everyone's getting all pissed off that we're not picking them. It's like, but we can only pick one of you guys.
Yeah,
it was ridiculous.
They're like, yeah, I know, pick me, not the other guy.
Oh my goodness gracious!
Very obvious.
But Penn State, that team is so good. Levi Haynes, that was the first time I'd ever seen him. Man, again, it was one match, but it's like, yeah, here we go again. That's one thing with Kale the last decade. There's always the veterans, but the pipeline is never empty. I mean, it's always, I mean, again, they don't rebuild, they reload. That's just what it is, but it was a good weekend. Illinois, Wisconsin had a really good dual meet from a score. It's just entertaining. I mean, obviously, as we know with dual meets, not everybody wrestles, changes things. It's like, yeah, and that I've always said this. Illinois was better than Wisconsin with the circumstances of the day on Sunday. What does it mean moving forward? Who knows? But you want to win the dual meets. You got to control what you can control, beat the guys that are in front of you. And Illinois did that. They had a good week. I mean, good effort in Carver Hawkeye on Friday night. I mean, they scored more takedowns than Iowa did, went 5-5. And
more takedowns. I didn't know that.
More takedowns. Okay. They had more takedowns. And I think, again, you can break these numbers down. I think it was, maybe because of one guy. I think Danny Pacino got a bunch of takedowns. You take him out. Sure. You know what I mean? You know how this stuff is. You can spin it any way you want to. But the other one, too, that Indiana and Maryland wrestled on Monday, and Indiana beat Maryland, which surprised me a little bit because Maryland's had a really good start to the year.
Yeah. Maryland is still looking for their first Big Ten dual win, and obviously,
I thought they were going to get it.
They've never had one, and this was the one you probably circle for this year. This is their best opportunity. They'll have other they could beat. I think they have Michigan State this year. That's
they could beat them.
They could beat them for sure.
And Michigan State though is off to a really good start too. And I know it's about the competition.
Don't get too excited.
Really
like
good?
I said, I know it's about the
really
competition.
Good.
I'm simply saying. All I'm saying is I would, and I'm not saying you guys are saying this, but if I'm Maryland, I'm not looking at Michigan State going, yeah, we'll win that one. Then okay, now I mean they're going to have to bring a great effort to beat Michigan State.
Coach Clemson is not saying that about any dual meet. We're going to win.
But he's done a really good job there. I mean, we know about all the big hitters in the Big Ten, but this last weekend, I think Illinois is much improved. I think, what we've seen in the first half of the season, I think Maryland's much better. I think Michigan State is, I mean, they're not bad. I mean, it's in the Big Ten. I think the reality is in the Big Ten, if you're those teams, you want to be top 10. That's what the goal is. Let's get to top 10 and then, let's try to find a way to get in the top half.
Build from there. The dual discussion kind of want to talk about. There's for whatever reason, I guess the medical forfeit situation, the guy sitting out of duels prompted a conversation that I don't understand how it actually connects to.
I feel like it happens every year though, Christian.
I do agree. I don't understand what forfeits have to do with. Well, let's add a dual championship at the end of the season. I just don't see how those two are connected. Can you help me connect those, Ben?
I can connect it for you.
Okay.
What I think people are frustrated with is that people think we can have a better product, and people think because of everything only matters in March that people have the propensity to sit out tournaments, duels, and that nothing really matters, and that's giving us a shitty product during the year.
100% right on that, Ben.
Nailed it.
What? Okay, and I snapped my fingers. We now have a dual championship. How does that change? These guys are still
in my scenario. You know what I thought about our conversation? I brought last Thursday. I brought in that idea, and I think maybe there was one thing I didn't say clearly enough that would have helped connect some things for you guys. That maybe you got this, maybe you didn't. But I proposed the 16 duels over 8 weeks, right?
Yes,
okay.
Yes.
That's what would qualify you for the dual tournament later, right? So then it would be incumbent on teams to wrestle their best lineups or the best that they have during those 16 duels. Therefore, it's more likely we would see more really good competitive duels. I'll give you a great example, and I'll pick on my home team because I know you guys don't think I did. Missouri, UNI. These are two really good teams. That duel on Sunday was not good. There were so many backups in there. There was a couple of good matches when there should have been a whole bunch. So, I mean, that's like a one that I looked at. I was going to watch it retroactively because I was in practice, and I looked at the results and pass. Yeah. And so I think it comes down to people are feeling cheated because they love wrestling and they want this great product. They want these competitive matches. And because of the current structure of what we have, there's so many coaches and teams saying, well, these things don't really matter. I'm going to pick on even the Scuffle in Midlands, guys. I was really excited. I looked at those brackets with the Scuffle, and I'm like, I'll watch the finals after the fact. I mean, that's really how I felt about it, genuinely.
Yeah. I'm with you, Ben. I mean, here's what you got to remember here. We love wrestling. We love this.
Tell him, Shane Sparks. We love it.
And we're still looking at this like there's a little bit more to be desired. And you, Ben, you nailed it on the head. It's about, there is a clear opportunity that again, I don't know every little factor, the logistics to this, but there's a chance to improve the sport. Look at other sports. Yes. Football's made adjustments, big adjustments over the years. Volleyball's made adjustments with their rapid scoring system. That product is on fire right now. Volleyball is. We talked about football. We know about the basketball tournament. We know about the baseball tournament. Hell, look at the Final Four in lacrosse on ESPN Memorial Day weekend. They own it. It's like, it's pretty clear to see that a team aspect is needed. I mean, that's what people get behind. People get behind teams. That's how it works.
Yeah.
I mean, and then if you look at it, whatever the fact is, let's say it's 16 teams. If you took that at the amount of dates, obviously would go hand in hand with the amount of competitions, the amount of exposure, you'd make more money. If it's a money thing, you'd make way more money if that's marketed and executed properly. To me, it's the biggest, like, I look like when I think about a dual meet championship, I think about my computer when it just spins and spins and spins. My mind's spinning because it's so beyond obvious to me that this would help and be necessary that I can't compute in my mind why it's not happening.
But,
like, what?
So Christian, the problem is, Christian wanted to go up. Christian, the problem is, in this way, is can we have a better product? And how can we actually make the matches that are currently happening matter so we actually get the wrestlers who should be out there wrestling? So those of us who love wrestling can watch what we want to watch.
Yeah. And Ben, real quick,
that guys, may seem selfish. That may seem selfish, but at the end of the day, that's also what's best for the sport.
And you know what's the worst thing ever? The worst line ever in this sport. The worst. You want to say, give me one sentence that sums up where this sport
You're gonna say only March matters or something.
Only March matters.
I knew it.
Come on, guys. Are you freaking? That's a horrible thing to say. That sums it up right there. Only March matters. And guys, if we're being honest, it's a few days in March. Like, it's not, if it was every day of the month mattered, okay, maybe that would be so damn good. It'd be the anticipation. It'd be awesome. It's not even that, guys.
Well,
and as we've learned before, as we've seen before, unfortunately, and again, some of these situations, because people might be like, well, argue with me on that, whatever. There's going to be some situations like anything that you're fine on. But even the Big Tens last year, we had two freaking, and maybe they were both justified, fine. But it's still like, man, you got two medical forfeits in the finals of the Big Tens. What does that tell you? It can't be that important. Yeah, it's important. It can't be that important, or guys would wrestle them.
So I would say, one, I think everyone thinks that having a dual championship would be a really cool thing. Well, maybe not everyone. But I think what's important is you need to first understand what the actual obstacles to that are. And I think there's a lot of maligning of the NCAA for them not supporting a second championship or whatever. And I don't understand that, because
that's fair.
It's totally like your eye is way off the ball if you think the NCAA is randomly going to bless a second championship. They're going to be like, wait, hold on, guys. Don't you have a championship? Well, yeah, we do, but we want to determine a team winner. Well, don't you do that at the other one? Well, yeah, we've done that since, the sport began, but now we just want to do it in a different way, and we want a second sport because of it. Well, how's the sport different? Well, it's not different at all. We just want some dual meets. And like the idea that the indoor track thing is some sort of trump card in this argument is so misguided. Is so like
trump card. It's an example.
It's not. But everyone thinks it's like, gotcha. They run inside, and so that's the same thing as creating a completely second sport, which is what you're asking for if you have a second NCAA championship. Okay? So, but here's the good news. The good news is everything you want to have happen is within NCAA wrestling's power to do. And you don't need the NCAA to do it. You could take Ben's suggestion of changing the entire structure of the season to this part is like duels, this part is tournaments. We have a dual championship at this time of year, and we have our individual championship at this time of year. All that is possible. All that is attainable. You don't have to start your season in November. Not every team has a match in November. Some of them start later. Your schedule is apart from conference mandated stuff, is basically in your hands, and it can be what you want it to be. So, which gets to the actual issue. The actual reason this doesn't happen, and the actual reason it probably will never happen, is coaches. Coaches make all the decisions in the sport. And Shane, you guys bringing up all the sports that are having success, those are sports where coaches don't make every single decision in the sport. Exactly. And the second that Nick Saban or Bill Belichick started making all the decisions for college football or the NFL will be the day those sports start to go in the tank. These sports are run by business people, not people. You can't. They're gonna. The coaches are good at. They are good at coaching, but somehow
how do we kick them out of these roles where they're making the decisions on that stuff?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure how you do that, but the fact is, you have to confront the reality that NCAA wrestling coaches make all the decisions in sport, and not just college wrestling.
So hold on, Christian? Can I fact check you here? And I don't know the answer. Are you certain when you say other sports don't have the coach making the decision? Is that actually factual?
I would be certain. I'm certain it's true for professional
football
leagues.
And basketball.
Yeah, yeah. No, I don't know the first thing about lacrosse or volleyball or what they're doing. Candidly,
because Shane brought them up as examples. So if those are also ran by coaches heavily, then that would be kind of a counterpoint here.
So it would be a counterpoint. Only it wouldn't be a counterpoint because maybe those coaches actually got on the same freaking page about what was right for the sport. And they put their own interests aside for a moment and thought bigger picture. That would be my theory. So lacrosse is maybe, I don't know the first thing about lacrosse. I'll probably never watch a match in my life.
Throw a ball in the net.
But if they're doing good, which I've just taken Shane at his word, and if the coaches were part of it, they probably all got on the same page about it. If I had to guess, I don't know about that. But I know it's true in wrestling, and I know there are factions that want it and that don't want it. And that's why we have what we have. And so blaming the NCAA is totally misguided and a waste of time, frankly. It's the coaches. They've got to do it. And the coaches
I'm not blaming the NCAA. I'm just speaking about what I think needs to happen.
And the good news is it could all happen. It could all happen. We don't need any outside. I love being able to, you control your destiny. Wrestling controls its destiny here. But
guys, do you remember the national duels a few years ago? Like some of this, like there's a couple, I would say as a wrestling fan, there was one moment that I really was like, what am I in a dream right now? Is the alarm clock going to go off? Where the hell am I? And that was when there was the national duels a few years back when that was the year Penn State wrestled Oklahoma State. That was Gallagher Iba Arena's biggest crowd ever. I mean, you guys remember, I mean, was it NC State, Iowa was one of them. It was like, It was so good. It was that month was so exciting, or the weeks leading up to it. You had some of the at that time, Iowa, Virginia Tech stuff going on. Like, it was so exciting. It was dual meets. It was fun. I think in my life, at least for me as a wrestling fan, last 25 years, that might have been the most exciting couple. That was so exciting. And it people show up, people watch it, and then the next year, it's gone. It's gone. It's like the coolest thing ever, and then it is gone. And that, to me, I'm like, what in the, like, what's happening here? Are you kidding me? We have this basically proven concept from a fan standpoint, which should matter, and now it's gone. Like, okay. Classic wrestling.
Yeah, yeah. And so, I definitely remember the Penn State Oklahoma State duel for a variety of reasons. It was, other than my harrowing memory of it, was amazing.
Well, what did happen? You made some innuendos there, and I don't remember.
Are you kidding me? Are you gonna make me say it?
Hey, stuff happens sometimes, right?
I don't know.
There was no stream, Ben. The stream broke. We had no. Remember, Martin had. Remember?
Whoa, what are you guys doing in Flow?
Martin,
I remember because mine worked. Mine worked somehow the whole time.
If you got in early, it worked.
Yes,
and that again. So basically, Christian had crashed.
I Facebook Lived it, and I had like 2,500 people watching my Facebook Live.
Right, so that's what happened, Christian. It basically crashed because of the volume.
Yeah.
Yeah, that again, exhibit whatever to prove how big of a thing that was.
Yeah, it was big.
Man, that's actually a good point. Actually, that's almost like not that it's good that it happened at that time, but looking back on it now, it's like, yeah, that was a huge deal. So much that it crashed the website. It was so popular.
Yeah, what a spin zone. But yeah, so I do think that the broader point is like, man, we could have all this stuff, and I think building consensus among coaches should be the first priority for people that want to make this happen, and that's going to be hard to do.
Because the most powerful guy, and I actually like this guy, the most powerful guy wants to keep it the way he has it because he's more likely to win more often, right?
He'd probably still win.
You can tell me if I'm wrong in my interpretation of your feelings towards this, and you actually disagree and think the NCAA individual championship is a better product and a better media property. I'm happy to hear that,
and that is true.
That's what he thinks.
Well, that's what I mean. It's provably true, I would say. I mean,
how can it be provably true if we haven't done the second thing?
Well, because wrestling has existed forever, and it's basically the only tournament or only event that gets close to mainstream viewership.
But that's
Christian. The other one would be better.
I don't know that that's an argument, Christian.
A dual meet tournament.
You're saying provable. Hold on, Shane. I'm putting Christian in the fire.
You got the floor.
You're saying it's provable, but in the modern era of wrestling, where people actually watch wrestling, which is say the last 10 years, and honestly, a lot of it is due to Flow and the coverage of Flow. The one time that we did a kind of dual national championship, which was referenced, it was so popular that the stream crashed. And I think that Flow, you could speak to this, but Flow's viewership and numbers have only it's exploded since the last 5-6 years, right? Sure. And so the notion that if we actually did a real dual national championship and teams actually were trying to compete to get in, and every dual meet during the season mattered, that's not going to be a huge media property. Fired up, Ben. I don't know how that's provable. I think
it'd be bigger here. Dual meet championship would be bigger.
Let Christian tell us how that's been proven.
Well, I guess you can't technically prove it because it hasn't happened, but there's mountains of data that show
the
NCAA
data.
That the NCAA wrestling championships are the most popular event in the sport, not just
because it's college. The one that actually matters right now.
This is true, but there is data to suggest that high-level individual matchups are what really drive viewership. So, in my opinion, I think the NCAA championship finals would still probably be better because, by and large, fans come for teams, yes.
But again,
if you get certain scenarios where you get a mega individual matchup, that will still probably surpass.
The other thing that I know Coach Smith explicitly made this point last week, and I know other coaches have, is if you are going to watch the entirety of the NCAA wrestling championships, it's 3 days and it's 40-ish hours of wrestling or somewhere around there. It's something insane, not 40, probably 30. It's an insane amount of wrestling. And so one of the reasons the NCAA finals does so well, JD, and this is the point of what is, it's a 2.5 hour time block, and you say, hey, here's 10 matches. It's going to happen over this time period. And it obviously is also a pinnacle, which helps, but you know exactly what's happening. And that's the same thing as dual meets. And I don't know. I would love to see, I don't know if the Big Ten Network would share data with us, but I would love to see what their data is on dual meets. And it's got to be at least pretty good, because they've done this thing where on Friday nights they're doing this dual, Central Standard Time, 6 to 8, and another dual 8 to 10. So they got to be doing at least relatively well, where they're like, how do we get more dual meets on TV? Right. And then they're doing a Saturday, and then they're doing a Monday, or they do the Monday sometimes. So I think that the dual meets, even though they don't actually matter right now, and if they did matter, they would be more popular, they're still getting really good viewership.
I would say really good is a relative term. I would say Iowa Penn State gets a number that probably matters, and I think probably everything.
Let me ask you this, Christian. Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
What would get more viewership? A big duel, because you probably have a good beat on this. A big duel or a CKLV? That's the biggest tournament we have, non-NCAAs.
Iowa versus Penn State will drastically outperform CKLV.
Okay. What if
Iowa and Penn State win the CKLV field though?
Then it would be a lot closer.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know. I think there could be a very good argument, and that duel doesn't matter, right? There's no implications, and so if we had this dual meet season with implications. So I think what it comes down to, Christian, I think you were frustrated with the wrestling world last night when you were texting me. I think there's a lot of us who feel as though the current product we have is not the best product we can put forth. And if we put forth a better product, we would have significantly more people being fans of the sport of wrestling who can actually follow it, who can tune into a duel every Friday and Sunday, and that actually matter. And you're going to see the best guys out on the mat wrestling. And when you're frustrated, I think you need to get in the mindset of like, no, I think we could do better. How do we do better? That's where I think everyone should be. And if we can work together on it, we could create a solution.
And people talk about growing the sport. It usually makes me like throw up in my mouth. Okay. But if you really want to grow, like growing the sport, dual meets, you get a good system around dual meets and you will increase your fan base. Guys, I'm a good example of it. I was not a volleyball fan until this season. You know why? Because I was following the tournament. I don't know you for $1 million. I could not name you one Badger volleyball player. I couldn't name you one. I could not name you one volleyball player right now. But I can tell you that I watched a bunch of volleyball games this fall. I watched the tournament because it was exciting. I was rooting for the Badgers. They got beat at the Fieldhouse in Madison by Pitt in a great 5-set thriller. It was awesome. That's people. I just look at my own life. Like people do the same with wrestling. It'd be like, God, you just got something to follow.
Yeah, I mean, to your point, Shane, on that one is like I have a lot of kids in my club, and maybe unfortunately, it's both unfortunate and unfortunate because I really want them to love college wrestling and love wrestling and want to wrestle at that level. That's really important for us. But they just love the Badgers because it's a team that's in the state.
Yeah,
right. They don't necessarily couldn't name there's no way they could name the lineup. They might, after they go watch a duel, maybe probably say Austin Gomez and Dean Hamidi or something to that effect. There's no way that you said name 10 people on the lineup. They're not getting it. I promise you this, right? But they want to go watch a duel meet and get excited about the hometown team. I think there's a lot of people like that. So, Christian, I don't think you should be frustrated. I think you should think like that people think there's a better solution, and that's a good thing. And in most cases, in pretty much everything in the world, there is a better solution if we just can figure it out the right way. And so, yeah, we as the probably largest media source, right, and not Flow, but this podcast specifically needs to keep pushing the envelope on this. Is my feeling.
I'm for that.
Okay.
I just. The reason we are where we are, there's like a look in the mirror. The people that
agree.
They're the one that did it. The coaches did it. They made it this way. It wasn't always like this. Duels were, you wrestled your lineup usually. Now you don't. You don't wrestle your lineup. And I don't know how much and here's another thing. If you're a wrestler, your number one goal in folk style wrestling is not to win a dual championship. It's all about the individual. And I think that is a good thing. I think that is the appropriate goal for a young wrestler to have. I want to be an NCAA wrestling champion. I can't do that if I'm on if I'm on a team and we lose.
In my scenario, I did both. Okay.
Yeah, I know that. But my point I'm going to try to make is regardless of the dual situation, if there's an NCAA tournament down the line that they're trying to optimize for, don't be surprised if we're not in a similar boat, because ultimately these guys' interests are around winning an individual NCAA title. And they do want to win duels, but not at the expense or potential risk of winning the individual title, which is the number one goal for all these guys. That's what you want to do. You want to get to that tournament and you want to win it. And pretending that that's not reality, is you have to confront that too. That's part of it. And I don't think that this is a silver bullet. It's not a silver bullet.
No one's saying silver bullet.
I know, but it sure sounds like we're going to have...
Don't put words in my mouth.
Well, here's the thing. Well, I'm not putting words in your mouth, but you guys are saying the reason these guys are not wrestling their lineups is because there's no incentive to, because it doesn't tie back to something bigger. And I'm saying it could tie back to something bigger, and it still is not tied to the biggest thing, which is wrestling at the NCAA tournament and winning and placing at it. That is the biggest thing.
You know how many times I've heard this talking to coaches? I hear this all the time. He's not going to go, but if this was this event or whatever else, he'd be out there. Like, I do think it would matter. Would it be the complete fix? It would not. I also, Christian, would say this, and I can't speak to this. Maybe Ben can. You know, JD can speak to these things better than I can. But I have this thought in my mind that, yeah, you want to win an NCAA title. But I think a lot of these guys would get behind a dual meet championship because you're with your guys. You're with your brothers. I mean, I know you want to win an individual national title, but I would argue this. I'd be curious about this. You could talk to these guys. I'd be curious to talk to like teams and say, if you could win one or the other, what would be more satisfying? There might be a lot of them that say, you know what, doing it as a team would be freaking awesome.
Yeah, but it's just not going to be. That's not what they will on. That's not what they'll honestly think. They may say it because it sounds good to be a team guy, but they want to win the individual thing. That's the biggest thing.
They do. I get that. I think if you're one of those guys that you want to win an individual national title, you're going to have to cut my leg off for me not to show up for my team, period. I'm showing up. I'm showing up for these guys. And if that means it costs me an individual national title, which you can't ever say that either because you never know, I'm doing it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And what about you? Would you have done it?
You guys know how I feel. I love to wrestle.
Yeah, you show up. You know, you just show up and compete.
Yeah.
No. So, I mean, Christian, I just don't think you should have the frustrations. I think we're trying to create a better product. And I think that
I'm not.
It's almost.
I'm not frustrated. No, I'm not frustrated.
The text last night were there was a frustration for sure.
Yeah, I'm frustrated. Yeah, I just think the conversation is so. I think the plot is missed a little bit, and I think that's what I was frustrated about. It's like, no, guys, this isn't the problem. Isn't over here. The problem is.
You're right on that.
Can I speak to that? Christian, I think and this is a lot of things with large bureaucratic institutions. I think the average person sometimes gets frustrated because there's not clarity in the process of like, how do we make this happen? And then obviously they don't have all the facts. And they say, well, one person says, oh, it's that person's fault. And then, 5 people think it's that person's fault. And then someone else says it's their fault. So is it the NCAA's fault? Is it the coach's fault? Whose fault is it? Is it ESPN? Yeah. Is it the FBI?
Yes.
I don't know.
I think it could be the FBI. JD, look into the FBI angle after the show, please.
FBI, look in for Magnum PI.
Yeah.
Like that.
He's got connections, obviously.
He knows the owner.
Good. I actually do enjoy talking about this stuff to a degree, but I do think we should turn our focus to more current events, less of the hypothetical, if that's cool. Did we exhaust this topic, at least for today's show?
Yeah, can I exhaust another hypothetical topic, but it should be not hypothetical?
Okay.
Because our guy, oh my God, the real Avery Lynch. And you know what? I don't know why I haven't thought of this. Flo owns track now.
I've thought about it.
Dude, the stupid star system on track, it makes my mind freaking hurt. Because a 5-year-old or 7-year-old or whatever can get like 5-star, right? And then you have like a good college wrestler, and they're like a 1.5 star because it's compared to your competition. But it's so preposterous because it should be actually ranked like on a full spectrum of, okay, an elite college wrestler or international is a 5-star, right? And generally in high school, the highest you can get is 3.5. I don't know, 3.7, something right there, right? And if you're a youth wrestler, you can't get above a 2.5 or something. And this way, it enlightens them and it lets them know, like, while you may be good for your age group, you are not good on the spectrum of wrestling. And so you need to aspire to bigger, better things. I mean, it's the same reason we don't put anyone below high school age on our All-American banners. Because it's youth stuff. You don't count. I'm sorry, you don't count. I want you to aspire to bigger things. I'm happy that you're pretty good right now. I like that you like wrestling, but I want you thinking about when it really matters. And honestly, I'm going to let you know when it really matters to us, and that's high school and beyond.
I think it's worse for. I think while your angle is definitely a part of it, I think it manifests itself worse in the parents than the kids.
Oh yeah, it's all
because they're trying to do all the tournament,
and
tournaments,
and they lack. Yes, they are the ones that are lacking the judgment, and they're in that competitive mindset. And you got kids that, and you can tell that dad's in there updating the 1850 and 330, and their season.
I told you about
record.
That one you sent me where I had known one of my kids had beat that kid.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I know that match happened. I saw that match. Like, and then I was like trying to find it. I'm like, wow. I'm like, am I going crazy? I'm like, I swear this match happened. I know what happened, you know? And so I couldn't find the match on the kid's profile. And then I'm like, okay, I'm gonna search my kid's profile. The kid that I know, right? And so I searched it, and sure, it was right there. So the dude must have deleted the result from his kid's profile.
It's sick.
Either the kid or the adult. I don't know.
Or calling Flo up. I mean, I remember this with the track days. Now I'm sure it's gone to Flo. You know, our kid only lost 5-3, and you had it 5-2.
Yeah.
Like, story about that. Like, I mean, are you freaking? I mean, I'm telling you, it's the one event, and it's ran. Ben, you go to this all the time. It's ran very well. The WWF Kid State Tournament in Madison, it's ran very well, but I got to be honest, it's the one event that when I leave it, I'm like, I have a real kind of a icky feeling when I leave.
Really?
Yeah.
I mostly stay away. We generally don't have any kids in the youngest division or very minimal, so I am mostly by the older divisions, and by that point, I think I actually think if you Christian, you can go observe this. You have a kid now. Go observe at a youth tournament, like the behavior of the K through 2 parents. And then the 3rd, 4th, and then the 5th, 6th, and the 7th, 8th. By the time they get to 7th, 8th, I think a lot of the parents realize, man, I don't know what I was like over there. I was such an idiot, you know? And like this side of the gym, the K through 2 gym is like, these people are insane.
Yeah.
And then I think they grow up and they realize, oh my God, I was way too involved. I was crazy. And by the time they get older, this side of the gym is way calmer, and it's really tremendous. So
well, that's good. That's good news, because I that's awesome, because it's the parents are the ones
get better.
Are steering that ship.
But Coach Messberg and I were just laughing last night because at youth practice, they're almost ninjas. Obviously, they're little kids. Almost 100% of parents stick around, and then the next age group, it's probably half to say 2/3. When they get to high school, there are literally no parents in the room. I mean, it's awesome, right? It's awesome for us. Like, the parents do not show up. I mean, it's like maybe once in a while, but it's pretty rare. Majority of practices, there's 0 parents.
Yeah.
Ben, and you and I have talked about this a million times, and I know we'll move on to something else. I think what blows me away more than anything else is when you have a coach like yourself, Ben, or some guy that's an NCAA Division I All-American, and he's trying to coach. Like, you got, like, if you're a parent, you're in really good hands. You don't have to do anything. Just get out of the way. Yeah. But
it's hard, though. It's hard.
But some of these parents, I mean, guys, it'd be like me. It'd be like, I look at this from a broadcast standpoint. If my kid wanted to be a broadcaster and Vince Scully, the late great Vince Scully, was his broadcast teacher, I don't need to get involved, because I don't know more than Vince Scully does. Like, know your place and stay in your lane. But I don't know how you guys. I don't get it. I don't understand.
All right, so
to Ben's point,
damn stars.
Yeah. To Ben's point, I think profiles should have results should be in there. You should be able to find the matches. You know, I think it should be should have utility for the kid, right? But rating 8-year-olds. I mean, it's so funny. Caleb, you know, I was showing him track wrestling and stuff, and I was showing him his bracket, and then he clicked his name, and it goes through his profile. And he goes, he opened up, he goes, it was after his first term, he goes, they're rating me? And exasperated. He's like, what's that? He's like, what's happening? I was like, no, dude, it's like an automated thing. It's like, it doesn't mean anything. Don't look at it. Don't think of it. But I'll be darned if when he went from 1.5, he's like, I'm 2 stars now. I was like, Caleb, that doesn't mean it. But like, he's 10 now, 11, and it's a crazy thing.
Christian? You got like the Askren logo up there?
Huh?
I said, does he have like the Astros logo up there for the profile picture?
Well, we tried, and I couldn't figure out how to get it switched. So I think he has no photo. But yeah, it would have been.
Yeah, and they also, I mean, the other thing. Now I'm gonna go on a complaint fest about track. We're never gonna get our picks done today, but they have the elite athletes thing, right? So if you go to like profiles and want to search someone, find them, and then there is elite athletes, right? And you go there, and it's mostly little kids.
Yeah,
and it's like, best. Wait. This is ridiculous. Why are there a whole bunch of little kids on the elite athlete rankings? And
because they wrestle the most. That's how.
But if you did it properly, you'd only have
spend the most money at tournaments. That's why.
Oh my God, you'd have the senior level athletes or college athletes. But okay, I'm gonna. All right,
we got it. Everyone got it.
Okay, track's fixing it. Thank you.
Yeah, we'll get rid of the stars. Okay, Braden Thompson.
Stars and ratings, Christian. Just FYI.
Well, what's the difference between a star and a rating?
I'm not really certain, but if you look at a profile, there's a star's up top, and then there's a few lines down, and there's a rank value.
Huh. I don't know if I've noticed that part, but yeah.
Yes.
We'll get rid of all that. Let's move on. We have to talk about something happening. Braden Thompson transferring from Lockport to Stillwater.
This is right on point with the topic we've been talking about.
So exactly. This is I mean, there's already like a faction of, we got mailed this 4-page letter from someone anonymous, just like
4-page letter.
4-page letter from some Oklahoma resident that is just furious about what's happened. This was months ago. Furious about
Why did they write a 4-page letter? This happened on Monday.
Because it's been happening for a long time at Stillwater High School, Ben. They got AJ Heeg, they got Barrett Jordan.
They're getting everybody. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this guy's just furious, and Edmond North people are mad, and but they're mad before. Now the number one kid in the country transfers second semester.
I got a question, Christian. Can I have a question real quick before you even? How is this even legal? In Wisconsin, this would not be legal for a kid to come in middle of January and be eligible for the state tournament. Like, does Oklahoma have no rules?
I would imagine it's just Oklahoma, and they're moving.
Yeah, what if you move, Ben?
I don't think you would be. I would have to look at the exact rules. I don't think if you were to move that you would be eligible.
I would think you would be if you moved.
We'll find out very soon. We're going to find out very soon.
Oklahoma has different rules, obviously.
Yeah. Of course. I mean, look at Pennsylvania. PIAA suspends kids all the time from wrestling for literally moving.
Yeah, they just suspended a team for moving.
An entire team. So
or recruiting, or I don't remember exactly what the allegation was.
Totally state by state, and very obviously Oklahoma does not have very restrictive rules about this. He's going to wrestle for Stillwater.
Yes.
And so, and I understand if you're in an ideal world, all things are equal, and you grow up in your town, and your town has a club, and you train in the club, and then you go to the club's high school, and then you represent that club, and it's all great. Yeah. But it's like, I wish it was like that. I think everyone probably deep down, but the reality is you're allowed to move in this country, and I even think about I think about it right now with Caleb. It's like, man, is he going to go to this high school when 10 miles this way he'd have these guys as his training partners? That would be probably better for him when he's in high school. Like, I'm thinking about that with my 11-year-old, and it's not something we'll probably do, but so you think
we should do it.
Yeah, we might.
So I think you should. I think obviously within reason. Tommy and I did a whole podcast on whether we would send our kids somewhere to, like we were talking specifically about Blair and Wyoming STEM, and both of our feelings was that you only have 18 years with your own child, and you should try to get as many of them as possible and not ship them off 4 years early was our feeling. And I know obviously other people have other feelings on that. But the transfer thing, I mean, Braden Thompson specifically he's been a lot of places. And so it does get a little exhausting with certain kids where they're just bouncing around. And I think that speaks to those kids and why and maybe their families and why they can't find a home that works. Like, why does it need to be 4 or 5 different places? And Tommy and I talked about this also, is like sometimes people see the world as the problem is always someone else that's outside you, as opposed to the problem might be me, and how do I fix my problems? And if I can't win, in his case, it's not winning wrestling matches because he's winning a lot of wrestling matches.
Yeah.
Right. But if I can't win wrestling matches, it's my coach's fault, or it's my teammates' fault, or it's my school's fault, or whomever. And then I need to go find a new school, and that's going to help me win more wrestling matches. Right. That type of thing.
Yeah.
Is he
exactly.
coming to a college?
Yeah,
Oklahoma State.
That's what I figured. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. Though, I mean, the weirdest thing about the Stillwater transfer thing is that it is obviously it's in Stillwater. And so it feels very tied to Oklahoma State. And then, I mean, all the way back to, say, Tristan Moran, my buddy, they were, I'll say
Arizona, right?
Tristan Moran's brother went to Oklahoma State, and they recruited Tristan Moran to wrestle for Stillwater High School, straight up.
From Arizona, right, Ben?
From Arizona. So he moved from Arizona. He wrestled the last 2 years at Stillwater High School.
You remember the Deeringers did that too.
So this is how I can tell you explicitly. Tristan Moran has done it. Was recruited to wrestle at Stillwater High School, and this has happened with so many other people. Yet Rothschild, Derringers, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So that's why this one feels extra weird, is because it's tied to a college also, and I don't think there's any other example of that.
No,
there's not. So. Right? I mean, maybe Iowa City. There's a few guys who moved into Iowa City early. They had a really good program for a long time.
Gabe
Arnold.
Now, does that make
he'd be able to? My assumption is now he'll be able to train in the Oklahoma State room, right?
Well,
in some capacity.
There's no RTC. There's no high school RTC during the college season. I do know that.
But outside of it, yes.
Outside of it, yes, they can.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I would say this guy's on the surface. The fact that he's going there makes sense to me. I mean, if you're going to wrestle in college, that makes sense.
Yeah, but just the timing of it, Shane. Like we're in the
January.
second half of his senior year semester. He's probably already started school for the second semester, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That makes just the timing of it makes it really strange. Yeah, I don't know. I struggle because I do think, Christian, in cases, I think mostly if a kid is really serious about wrestling, they should find a program that fits them. Hopefully they don't have to go an hour, right? Hopefully they can find something relatively close and, open enroll. In Wisconsin, we call open enrollment, where you can register for a neighboring school district and go there. I think it's good because I think the other thing that, if you want to look at both sides of like the loyalty debate is like, okay, well, if I'm a really driven 8th grader and the local high school coach, he gives half an effort, like he's not really trying that hard, why should I be loyal to that guy who's not going to be loyal to me because I'm trying to put in my full effort and he is not?
Sure.
So that's kind of how I think about it.
Yeah, and I don't think that's the case with Braden. There's no half efforts from
not
where he was. And I know that's not what you were saying, but
no, not. I was just talking, in a more broad sense.
Yes. Okay, so he's on the move. I'm sure Oklahoma people are not happy about it unless you're in the greater Stillwater area.
The fact that Oklahoma State does this, does that make it better or worse, in your opinion, Ben, or neither? All these guys going to Stillwater.
What
you said, it's different because it's tied to a college.
It makes it feel like the and I have no proof of this. I don't know this is the case. Well, I do know it with Tristan actually. So, I know in a singular case, it feels as it should be illegal because there is a tie to a college program bringing kids into a high school, which is then ideally going to recruit them into a pipeline to their college. That seems outside the jurisdiction of what they should be doing. But the one with Braden Thompson is like, it doesn't make, how's he going to get any competitive matches in Oklahoma? And he's only got they probably have 5 to 6 weeks of their high school season left. Like, it's not long. Like, it's like, why does he even want to be on the team? It's like, he's going to pin all these dudes in a minute. Like, who cares?
Yeah, I don't know.
It's weird.
Sort of weird.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, am I wrong? Is there any competitive matches for him in Oklahoma? AJ Heeg's his teammate, so he can't wrestle him.
I don't know off the top of my head. Probably not for a guy of his caliber.
Probably
I know there are other really good teams in Oklahoma, but I don't know about specifically at his weight.
How big's Jersey Rob?
He's heavyweight, isn't
he? Yeah. So maybe if Braden went 220 or something, but I don't think he will. the weights are different it's like 175, 190, 215 in Oklahoma. So I don't know how they're gonna figure out the Heeg Braden thing, but I'm sure they'll figure it out.
Wait. Oh my gosh. I just clicked on the rankings to kind of look see if there's the Oklahoma kids.
Yeah.
And I said Rogotsky, and the next column says Stillwater. And I'm like, wait, Rogotsky?
Minnesota.
Stillwater, Minnesota.
Close
Of
one.
course.
Jersey's 220.
Heeg is ranked at 182 from Stillwater, Oklahoma. So they'll have to figure that out. But there's no 195 from Oklahoma who are in the rankings. So I can't imagine there's going to be any competitive matches. And there's only 5 or 6 weeks of the high school season left.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right. Whatever. Kevin Ward tweeted an NCAA rules, I guess, clarification about top and bottom stalling that came out January 9th, 2023, where I don't think we learned anything because...
You thought this was fake news?
Well, because the order which it sent, the first word was not capitalized. I was like, this doesn't look... This is sort of...
Oh, because I got you. Second page, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But anyway, I don't think we learn anything because it's what we talk about all the time is that they don't call stalling on the top guy unless it's the sequence mandated stalls where they have to count.
It's pretty rare.
And, people were upset about, Dayton Fix is double legs. He's not turning anyone. But the reality is that he's not called for stalling there because they don't call stalling for not trying to turn. Because what I've always said, riding time exists. You are incentivized to simply ride. And so if you simply ride and you're following their little rules for the count things with drop downs and side headlocks and this, that, and the other, then you're going to be fine to just simply ride, break down, keep them flat. So this was basically outlined in a tweet that Kevin Ward sent where he had the screenshots of it. It basically confirms that.
And this is from a recent update that just came out.
Yeah, I don't know if
it's got the NCAA sent to coaches.
Yeah, I don't even know if I would call it an update. Like they're not changing the rule.
Yeah,
like a clarification.
Let's say clarification.
Yeah, so they're clarifying what to me has been evident for a long time is that they do not call stalling on top.
Basically ever. Let me find this. Yeah. So I mean, it did say. Okay. So I'll read exact verbiage. So I mean, the one thing is that if the offensive wrestler, the top guy, broke the bottom guy down, it's incumbent on the bottom guy to get up because he has been put there, which I actually had that rule suggestion for kind of how to alleviate that situation. But it says essentially that the top wrestler, there's enough incentive with the near fall to not penalize the bottom person all that much. And then the other thing it says, the term it uses multiple times is, I believe, aggressively breaking down. So that's where I would disagree a little bit, Christian.
Okay.
And, in certain cases, like Starocki Massa, maybe. I hope I'm citing the right match. I hope I'm not getting this wrong. But where they go minutes without getting a breakdown. Like if you're not getting a breakdown, you're not aggressively attempting a breakdown. If the man stays on his base the whole time and you just ride, then you're just riding. You're not actually riding them. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. It does make sense.
Okay. I'm trying to find the exact verbiage. It's hard to find on my phone. It says something to the effect of aggressively breaking them down.
Guys, you know what's interesting with this too? Is it's so backwards in high school. If you're in high school,
so much.
Yeah, if you're in high school though, Ben, and it just drives me nuts. Good match, state final match. Let the kids decide it. You got a 3-2 match. Kids on top. 25 seconds left. He's getting hit.
Yeah.
Right. It says do not aggressively attempt to break down the opponent. So, and I think it says it one other time. So when they're doing double thigh pry or that type of stuff, to me that is that's not an active attempt at a breakdown, and that should be called for stalling.
Yeah, I got frustrated because Caleb got called for stalling on top, and it's like kids are hitting. He's not very good on top for one at this point. But
what star is he? Is he elite?
I don't know. I haven't checked his star rating recently. We got some tournaments coming up. We're going to get those stars up. That way we know he's good at wrestling. But guys kept coming to their feet, and he'd return them, and then he tried to break them down, but he wouldn't, and they get up to their feet. He dropped the leg, put him back down, and he got hit for stall. And I was like, man, the kid's doing a good job underneath. He's just trying to hold him down.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're more punitive, weirdly, for the youth in high school than they are in
it's bad. It's different.
Sort of weird. Anyway, so that was an interesting thing, and now I think we should get to picks.
Let's get to it already.
Yeah, let's.
So guys, who's doing the best job between you three on the picks?
Me. I mean, you already know this. It's me.
No, it's me, Christian.
I'm sure you can't be that much ahead.
You won last week, but I'm ahead.
You guys got to keep a tally of this so people.
Yeah, what's the tally, JD?
It's not important.
What's it?
JD, what's the tally? JD is not doing well.
Getting killed.
You know what's funny, Shane? JD makes amazing lines. Like, we don't just do pick-ems. We pick like against the spread.
Oh yeah,
He does the lines. He's so good at that. That's the hard part, actually. He's just bad at the picks. He's not good at it. It doesn't make sense.
Here's what you guys need to do. You need to have a running total, and who's ever leading is a 3-star. Second place is 2 stars and 1 star. For the third place guy.
That's a good point.
Or even
what is the score, JD?
And 1 star. Who's ever last place doesn't get any stars.
Totals.
He literally stopped doing the season totals because
I'm doing them right now. I'll have it done in no time.
Wow.
I got him. I'm going fast.
All right, so we'll start with the weekend picks, starting with Friday, and we'll just kind of go in order, which is typically what we do. We've got quite a few in here. And Shane, I don't know how you can do this, but just chime in.
I'll just chime in with some thoughts if something comes up. But
Shane, you better pick someone.
I'll let the masters pick.
Yeah, right.
You get no stars if you won't make picks.
No star.
Defaulting today.
No stars on Track Wrestling. Okay, first match. Dylan Ragusin versus Rayvon Foley. Young James has Ragusin a 2.5-point favorite.
Rayvon Foley versus Ray.
Now,
you know what? I want to make. Can I make a comment? We're off the rails today. Yeah. Christian, JD,
sir,
did you guys freaking realize that Aiden Valencia beat a good field at the Reno Tournament Champions, but didn't win the Doc B?
Yes.
What in the world? Does that mean high school wrestling is now tougher than college wrestling?
That's exactly what it means. That's why they're the elite athletes. Wait till you see, you got Tulsa. Those are the best of the best in reality. That's what you don't understand.
But seriously, that is seriously crazy, though.
That really happened. Yes.
Yeah, it really happened.
High school kids are very good. So this is an interesting one because Foley and Ragusin have split. Foley won 7-2, and then Ragusin won 3-1 in that order. But Foley not having as probably a good a year as he was last year.
He was one of Aiden Valencia's victims at Reno.
8-3 to Aiden Valencia, and he was pinned by Josh Kyle in 2 minutes and 51 seconds this year. Hence the line 2.5 for Ragusin, to which I say, Ben, what do you say?
I also will say Foley is not having a great year. Let's go Ragusin.
I will go ride for Dylan as well.
We're all Michigan men on this podcast today.
Michigan men, not Michigan State men. Okay. So we're all saying Ragusin covers here, which is all but a guarantee that Foley is probably just going to win the match outright. Okay, big one here. This is one of my most anticipated matches of the weekend. Jonathan Milner, John as they call him, versus Caleb Henson. James says point and a half favorite for Milner. What now? Ben foolishly underestimated Henson a week ago against.
You're not foolish. You underestimated Yanni.
Against some obscure wrestler from Cornell.
You didn't get a damn takedown in the third period, and you cost me my picks.
He does as he pleases. He understood the assignment. So I'll say this is a tough one because, man, when you think about for a freshman matchup, Milner's a tough one because he's so good on top. He's really, really hard to score on. I think a 1.5 actually That's right in the zone. Now Milner hasn't been wrestling. But I think Milner. I'm actually gonna say he covers this one.
Sorry, read me the line again. I'm doing math.
1.5.
He's been wrestling.
I'm gonna go Henson.
Oh, he missed a scuffle at least.
He's 18-2 on the year.
18-2.
Yeah, that's a lot of matches, bro.
Last match was 3 days ago.
Okay. He
Against
beat
Binghamton.
and he won by major decision. Yeah, I think he probably wins. Man, how about the schedule for Caleb Henson? Has faced a lot of guys already this year.
Yes, he is.
Who are you gonna pick, Ben?
I said Henson.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Dang.
I've gone back and forth. I think Milner wins, but I could definitely see it being by 1 point, like a ride-out period situation.
And you think Henson
or on riding time. I think Henson could win, so I don't hate taking Henson with the point or straight up. But I'm gonna go Milner by 2. He wins. He gets a riding time point at the end. Plus he wins like a 5-4, 6-5, something like that. Tack on a riding time point, and he wins 7-5.
Yeah, it's gonna be a fun match. Henson's gonna go after him. If Henson wins, it'll probably have been like a shootout, like a 6-5 type of deal.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm not as convinced on this one, but we're going for it. Glory Kaler. That's coming
all right.
up.
I got results. You want results first?
Yeah, sure.
I just worked hard on this.
Oh, they're old news, but yes,
right.
go ahead.
And okay, so in
That means Ben's leading if
I haven't seen it.
Last place for the season with only 1 win out of 7. JD Rader. He did have, though, in his 1 win was the week that we did the most picks. He was 15-7 in week 3.
He's a volume play.
And that was his best week. He actually
had a great weight cut that week. Great weight cut. He was making good decisions that week. Good sleep.
Him and his girl.
You know what you can do when you do the little things off the mat.
Yeah.
He beat you by 6 picks that week.
Yeah.
Okay, in second place, Christian Pyles, who has 3 wins. He is 43-30. And in first place, myself, 3 wins also, but I'm 46-27.
So what's the best? You guys should go by total picks, right? Like winning.
Yeah, so I said I read those off.
46 and he's 46-27. I'm 43-30.
Okay, that's heck, that's close.
It's pretty. Yeah, it's close. It'll come down to the end. Probably. It was. I think I won. I didn't win by much last year. It was definitely close.
I hope you guys have some kind of trophy or a championship.
I think Christian went back in and changed the picks after the fact.
Ben has continually just lied about that. When every pick is done online and broadcast everywhere.
No, you have editor capabilities to this document, Christian.
But it's easily verified what I actually picked because I said
Christian's
it on the show.
Guy. You think I'm going to go back and listen to the whole show?
Christian wouldn't do that.
I wouldn't do that.
He wouldn't do it.
I don't
have much time.
It's not that just I wouldn't do that. It's so unnecessary for me because I just get the picks right more than you, Ben. That's just what happens.
You guys need to go to Target's and get a WWF championship belt like that, the little kid, and whoever wins it, I've been wearing that every day as the champ.
Yeah. No, I want one of Ben's belts. How many belts you got, Ben?
I want one back on my wall or something here so I can show you that I'm the picks champion right here.
Yeah, that's important.
What's your favorite belt you have, Ben? It can't be a braided one you wear it with your jeans.
Yeah. Actually, I don't usually wear a belt. I don't wear a belt. Hey, Terry Pappin in the YouTube chat. Did Edmund North beat them in a duel?
Yes.
Do you think Edmund North actually has Edmund North kids, or could it be like surrounding areas? I mean, I know they're not recruiting nationwide.
Yeah, I don't know. That's my thing. It's
they're not getting out of state, but I think they got a couple close by move-in kids. Don't quote me on that. Sorry if I'm wrong, Oklahoma people, but that is my understanding.
This isn't the crowd to get upset either. just give me some life advice.
I mean, well, compared to a Stillwater, they are not.
It pales certainly.
Yeah.
Okay,
got it.
I don't know what we're doing. Oh, Glory Kaler, 5.5 for Glory. I think this is.
Oh, that's a lot.
That's a lot. That's too rich.
Kaler's
not been great, but I don't think he's losing by 6.
pretty sure Glory beat him by 5 or 6 one time.
Probably last year at the NC2A championships.
Mm-hmm. Which different way in format than a duel.
Exactly right. And also, yeah, I mean, Glory's had pretty close matches. I would consider like Dean Peterson and Shaver to be like comparable to Kaler.
Agreed.
And those were close matches. So I'm going Kaler to cover.
Yeah, dang. I looked at Kaler's record because he does have more losses than I anticipated this year. But all of that, he lost overtime 3-1, 3-2, 4-2, overtime 3-1, and 3-2. So I'm going Kaler.
That's close. What are you doing? He's doing his research now. Live on the air.
Well, seeing who he lost to. I mean, Liam Cronin, Mastro.
No terrible
Unger,
losses.
Bergen. Ethan.
Bergen.
The Army kid.
I forget it's pronounced Bergen.
No C.
Yeah, I go like Bergen.
Silent C.
The C's not pronounced?
Just forget
Silent C. Can confirm.
Forget it's there.
He, because I was at the Iowa Army duel, and I was talking to Kevin Ward about it, and Kevin said Ethan didn't even tell him for like the first year he was there too. Like Kevin Ward was even pronouncing it.
That's a classic Army.
And then he found out like from his parents or something.
All right, who are you picking, JD? We've got to go.
Give me Glory.
A lot of picks this week.
Yeah, I know. We gotta go little faster because I do have to leave at 9:45 exactly.
Christian, I can't believe you didn't pick Henson. That's your guy.
Yeah, that's okay.
Okay, all right.
This doesn't change. I can separate those things. If my son was wrestling, Jonathan Milner, I would still probably love him more than Milner, but I would pick Jonathan to win. So similarly, see, and this is the thing. That's a callback because Ben made all these assertions about Bo Bartlett in my picks last year, and he said I picked him every time, and I made all these ridiculous. To which Tyler pointed out I was 100% in all my predictions for Bo last year, and Ben was not. So it's actually Ben who has a bad read on Bo.
Yeah.
Okay.
But notice I actually lost on the positive side. Like I thought he was going to do better, and he did worse when I lost.
See, I
think
know.
he probably talked me into those.
Mm-hmm. And then I did a plot twist on you. Chris Cannon, Brody Teske is a pick'em.
You went Kaler?
Oh yeah.
This is wild that this is a pick'em. I'm looking. I guess Cannon got killed by Biscaglia, which makes this a pick'em. I'm going Cannon.
I feel like Cannon is better.
Yeah, he's better. He's an All-American.
But he lost to he had the injury default to Chance Rich. He lost to Kolioko, who looked great.
Kolioko's had a good year.
But what is his best win? I feel like he's lost every match that was legit except for Crookham. He did beat Crookham. But every
Crookham's a
like
good,
tough
solid
challenge.
Nagau's solid.
Yeah, Nagau's solid. Put him on his back.
Yeah.
Kirk Phipps isn't terrible.
Who are you gonna pick, James?
Teske's my guy.
Mm.
But the lack of matches this year is concerning. Northwestern wrestled really good. Their last duel out.
How good's Brody underneath? Because I think that could be a factor here.
Brody's he's only had 2 matches this year. That is very concerning.
Yeah, but he wrestled his last one and looked fine. He predictably did not wrestle Lucas Bird and wrestled the easier matchup of the weekend. Man, this is a tough one for me. I think Brody can do it for sure. I'm going with him. I'm saying Teske.
Is this one in Carver?
I'm taking Teske. I believe so.
Is it? I should know that.
If Iowa doesn't wrestle a full lineup, this is a really good duel.
It is very narrow, but there's a path to victory.
Oh boy, here we go
for the Wildcats.
Here we go with the path.
I thought I saw something on the probables that I thought I saw something on social media from a probable standpoint with Iowa. Again, just what I saw. I thought it said no Warner, and then there was another guy.
No Warner.
I'm just going by what I saw.
They might be in trouble.
I just saw this on a probable thing on social media.
Glazer was the only 97 listed on the probables.
Whoa, they need him.
Glazer could be Andrew Davison, but I think I would favor Davison. I mean, you're going to favor Northwestern at 57 likely. You're going to favor that. I think you favor them at 33. If there's no Woods, you absolutely favor them at 41.
Woods is not listed.
40. Okay, you could.
Yeah, I knew there were 2 guys. That'll be the match.
They're not
Mirren
winning
and Yaya be a
65.
good match.
And they're not winning 74, right?
Yeah, they might need Lucas Davison to beat Big Tone.
Cassiope, which is, I mean, that's
Davison
you
wrestled
can't
very
give
well
him the
this year.
favorite.
He's a big old beast.
Yeah.
Like I said, a path.
Yeah.
Uphill.
Northwestern's
but there's
got
a path.
6 really good guys. Like
They're-
6 really good guys.
Dude, look at Trumbley's year.
It's good.
Chumbley's year
He's
last
my
year.
new guy, guys. I never heard of this guy. I never
told
heard
you,
it.
he was scrappy in high school.
He is of any one guy this entire season that's wowed me the most is Trevor Chumbley. Never heard of him.
It's like, I mean, I was aware of him, but last year he was 6-4, and it's like, okay,
Yeah.
6-4 Big Ten. But look at these losses. He lost 2. I'm gonna try. Munktalga Zunbayan of Northern Illinois. He lost to Anthony Gibson, also of Northern Illinois. This guy was third string on Northern Illinois last year.
Chumbawamba, he gets knocked down, but he gets back
He
up
gets
again.
back up again. Chumbawamba. You're never gonna keep. He maybe last year he was taking a whiskey drink. He was taking a vodka drink.
He
But
sings
now,
the songs that remind him of the good times and the songs that remind him of the
Oh
bad
wow,
times.
you guys,
Yeah.
you guys are a piece of work.
so now he's back up again, and Chumbley's just a beast. He's really good. I mean, that is a sick turnaround.
He's
after
a
1
great
year.
story, guys. You know who he reminds me of? Up to this point, he's like last year's Jacob Berglund. Because I think Berglund last year was in his 5th year, never got an opportunity, becomes an All-American. This is Chumbley's 4th year. He's been behind Yaya and Deacon,
Yeah.
and now he's getting a chance, and the guy's legit.
Yeah, he's for real. For real. So, good job, Storniolo. Good job, Northwestern. And yeah, this is an interesting duel. And it was Illinois took them 5-5. And Northwestern is, I would say, comparable, if not better than.
Whoa.
What?
Did you guys realize he beat Yaya in 2020 at Chumbley? Beat Yaya Thomas at the Midlands in 2020.
No.
Man,
Yeah.
What a beast.
3-2.
Okay. So,
What odds would you need to take Northwestern money line in this?
oh my! Iowa just went. The number of times we've said there's a way. This is how many times we've done this with Iowa
if we
State.
actually knew what the real starting lineup,
Yeah, that's
that
what you need to know.
Helpful.
Yeah,
Because
that would help
if they
too.
got Woods and Warner, then it's
Yeah.
So there's no odds that you would be willing to
just-
put
Oh
Man,
yeah,
$20 on.
100% there'd be odds.
We should pick the odds after. I mean, on this one, you should do it right after the weigh-ins. You know who weighed in. Then what's the money line?
Yeah,
Well, what would it be now when you don't?
I mean, because that's where, like, if we're talking about money betting in a casino, the smart money's going to wait till after the weigh-ins, so we know
Yeah.
who's there.
If you were to put any money on this today, you got a gambling problem.
nah, man.
for real.
I got a feeling, Shane. All right, we gotta.
How are
keep,
you thinking you're getting
we
the
have
good
to keep
odds? You're
doing
getting the
this.
good odds now.
We have to keep doing
That
this.
may be,
If they-
Jamie. Maybe
the line could go
Maybe
down.
you could be like James
after
Krause
wins.
and you got the insider information about who's going to weigh in, though.
Exactly. Then you'd be getting banned.
All right, Yaya Murin 1.5 favorite, says JD. I'm taking Yaya.
I am.
How
taking
about
Yaya
Max
also.
Mirren scoring points this year?
Oh, for God's sakes!
Against
What he
all right.
has. I think Mirren's got 8 bonus point victories. I believe he had 1 tech fall coming into this season in his career. I think he's got 3 of them. I mean, he is scoring points. I know.
Shay's not wrong. He was his bonus point percentages prior to this year: 26, 25, 31, 9, and 21. This year, 69%.
I will
Yeah.
give
Although
you
he
the.
did not have the soldier salute before this year.
I will give you the WrestleStat rankings of the guys he's bonused.
Yeah.
153.
I know.
Hold on.
95.
Please. 153, 63, 163, 74, 207, 80, 88, 95, and 122. Those are the
That's
people he's
fine.
bonused.
And I-
salute is,
I get that, guys. I get that, but he's still doing it. He's still doing it, and that's got to help him.
Come on.
Yeah,
It doesn't matter, Ben. There's a
no,
lot
it does
of
matter.
guys
It does
that
matter. These guys aren't at the
that are
NCAA
working
tournament. It doesn't matter, honestly.
Yeah.
These guys are not at Big Tens. These guys are not at NCAAs. These are not guys that are not going to be at the relevant tournaments. So it does
I
matter.
actually looked. Okay, you can check. If you're below ranked 80 on WrestleStat, Max Mirren will bonus you. I just looked at the last couple of years.
But
I'm
70.
telling you, Max
But if you
Mirren
get to
is wrestling
74
better right now than any time in his career.
Christian Kanzler's 72, so he didn't get bonus. But below 80, they get bonus.
Max Mirren's looked really good. He's looked really good, guys.
He lost to a freshman.
He gave a takedown inside of 10 seconds. He's
Gosh, guys,
right there.
I am going back 3 seasons, and it is literally the only bonus he had. The guy was number 103 in 2021. If you're below, Matt Santos, 107, bonus. Hunter Baxter, 190, bonus. Oh, he did not bonus Eddie Bolivar, who's ranked 150.
He wishes he could
Marshall
get that
Keller,
one back.
79, bonus.
Who are you guys picking? Yaya or Mirren?
Yaya because of the point. Mirren is 3-0 against Yaya in his career, but they have all been by 1 point, which is why I almost made this a pick 'em.
He pulls them out at the end.
And Yaya is hard to ride. I mean, the one where we get you guys know where we get screwed on this one, right?
Edge.
Overtime.
No, overtime.
Oh, yeah.
Overtime 2-point takedown covers.
Yeah.
Ben, who did you take? Cannon, Teskey?
Cannon.
Okay. Cassiope, Davison, 2.5 point for Big Tone. I think Davison covers
really?
that.
Give me Davison on that one.
He's really wrestling well. Man.
You won't. Coward.
Guys, can I ask a quick question real quick?
Yes.
Because we talked about this with other teams. How good is Matt Storniolo and Northwestern at developing guys?
Yeah, that's what we were just talking about with Chumbly and all these guys.
I mean,
he's doing a good job.
Great job.
Okay.
And he's the best dressed coach in the Big Ten.
Wow. Shots fired at Tom Ryan.
Something.
Tom
Ryan, you're right.
Tom Ryan wears a suit to everything.
Hey,
I'm giving it to Storniolo by an
suits up.
Okay, I was gonna make Shane pick. I was gonna put him on the spot and make him.
I'm gonna take Storniolo right now just because he's just a little more hip with the fashion, but it's close.
Jay Jagger's been mailing it in. He used to really I think Jay's too focused on coaching and not enough on fashion. I think he needs to get it back. He was wearing fancy boots, various chains.
My guess is Storniolo probably wears some fancy socks where Tom Ryan does not, and that's where I'm going to give the edge to Matt.
Okay.
I could be wrong.
Could be wrong there.
Fancy
all right.
Socks, Tom Ryan.
Next up, Minnesota-Nebraska duel. Pat McKee, Liam Cronin. Man, these are we got a lot of picks.
We got a lot of picks, right? We got to get going.
I got McKee covering this.
I got McKee. I think we've picked almost the same things, Chris. I need to start diverting. No, we got a few different ones. Okay.
No, you got to be right. Who cares? Stay the course, Ben. Stay the course.
Yeah.
I got McKee.
I mean, McKee hasn't wrestled the past couple Minnesota events, so I don't know if that one will even go down.
Yeah, when we have situations like that, we probably just don't have to, especially if we have a lot of picks, we don't have to include these.
Well, a lot of times this is like the entire show.
True. True. Okay, Peyton, Rob, Brayton, Lee. Rob 1.5. Rob's covering this if it happens.
He is covering it.
Brayton, and my guess is, last year
I made it 2.5.
Brayton Lee beat him in the dual meet last year. Really controlled him.
Yeah,
didn't score a ton of points, but controlled him.
Brayton's not been right this year.
He hasn't.
I meant to make this. This was a typo. I meant to make it 2.5.
Okay.
Does that change anything?
No. Leave it at 1.5. That makes it way harder.
Fine.
Because I'm going Brayton to cover 2.5, but I would have taken.
Dang. All right, he's going 2.5. I'm still going Peyton Rob.
I'll stick with Peyton.
I'm just not as confident.
Yeah. All right, here we go. Ben's just.
I know.
Ben has not openly wept. Ben has not openly wept on this show. This pick may bring about tears because he's got to do Wyatt Hendrickson versus Zach Elam of his beloved Missouri Tigers.
My favorite college wrestler, Wyatt Hendrickson, versus my home team, Mizzou.
Your Tigers versus your hero.
Yeah,
I'm going Elam. It's with the 2.5 points. I think he's going to cover.
Me too. Shane even agrees.
You all hate the troops. I salute them.
I think there's a decent chance he wins. Why? Because he's also pretty big and athletic. The chance with Wyatt Hendrickson is that he comes out and steamrolls him with that, slaps a cradle on him real quick or something, because he's been known to do that.
Wyatt Hendrickson basically either bonus points you or loses to you.
Yeah. They're gonna have a good Coach Smith and Don Bradley. They're gonna have a plan.
He's probably leader for falls on the year.
Who? Wyatt is?
He's definitely up there.
Yeah, he's got a lot of pins.
Quickly.
I'm going to make one pick on this one. I'm going with the Air Force. I'm going Hendrickson.
Man, I kind of want to. I'm thinking about a switch.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm going true.
Do it, Christian.
I'm doing it. I'm going to make Ben pick against his guy.
Yep.
I picked against my guy. I already did it.
Yep. I'm switching. Michael Beard, Lou Dupre. Beard 1.5 favorite. To me, this is easy. Beard covers this. No problem. And we haven't seen Dupre.
One of the great names.
Agreed.
Dupre.
Lou Beard.
Lou Beard.
Michael Beard. I got Michael Beard. Go.
Beard across the board. I wouldn't be surprised if this was a 1-point match, though.
Yeah, I could see that.
Dupre, even when he loses, it's very tight.
He's a big, strong person. Okay. Rutgers, Ohio State, kind of a fun duel. Malik Heinzelman versus Dean Peterson. This is
Heinzelman didn't wrestle last week, though, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Okay. Regardless, pick them between Peterson and Heinzelman. What say you? I'll go Dean. I've liked how he looks this year.
Yeah.
I don't want to. You can't change your pick now, Christian. But who did he just lose to that I was kind of surprised? I thought he was going to win.
This has Heinzelman 1 point win
does.
all over it.
He lost to Eric Barnett 6-2.
Oh, yeah. Maybe I'm thinking of the wrong person.
He lost to Glory.
I think Dean is very good, but to me, this is classic. Malik, veteran of the game, finds a way to win by 1 point or get a late takedown.
You could be right.
Or something.
I think this is at Rutgers. I'm just thinking Raction, crazy Jersey stuff.
John's Arena.
Jimmy John's.
Is that what it is? Yeah.
Jersey Mike's.
That's what it is.
Someplace. It's named after a sub. I don't know which one.
Subway.
Oh, man.
The Quiznos Arena. Okay. Jesse Mendez, Joe Heilman. Mendez, 2.5-point favorite. I looked at this. I was like, oh, that's kind of a lot of points. Then I looked at some of Heilman's losses. I'm like, no, it's not. It's about right. Good line, James. And I'm going to go Mendez.
Same.
Mendez across the board. Who did you pick in the last one, Ben?
You picked Malik.
Okay.
Yes, I picked Malik. Yep.
Romero Soldano. This is, man.
Romero.
This is crazy because Soldano could be down by 14 points and just do something crazy and pin you. So part of me is I
almost wanted to make the line bigger. Like,
where do you have the line at?
3.5. Yeah, I should have said that. I think
because Romero loves winning close, but Soldano just completely throws that off
to his back. 100%.
Yes,
he approaches wrestling like it's a submission only grappling contest where all that matters is if you submit the guy. Like it's a no time.
Put this man in it. Yes, put him in. I love it.
Because that's basically his mind. He's like, well, yeah, but the whole point is who pins whoever. He's not
going to get called for stalling on top, Soldano.
No,
he goes for it.
Not at all. But I've got Romero.
You know who I think? A match where I think this is like very similar. That he lost a Division III kid, Jarrett Shinoster, 7-0 in the semis and Midlands. I think it looks a lot like that one.
Yeah,
maybe worse.
They're gonna have done their homework here and be like, okay, we're not gonna do this. Okay, Northwestern Nebraska, Brock Hardy, Frankie Talshahar, 2.5-point favorite for Hardy.
Oh, man.
Ooh,
Hardy, who has not, since losing to Drogemuller, has just been insanely good. What a year Brock Hardy's had. You want to talk about development? This guy was obviously a big-time recruit years ago.
I mean, what is this? I mean, what year did he graduate high school? Do you know?
17, maybe? 18? He did a 2-year LDS mission.
Yep.
I think
we looked this up, but it's been a while.
18 or 19.
Yeah.
A while.
It's always crazy to me when guys take 2 years completely off. I talked to him. He said he did not take one step on a mat in those 2 years. Didn't even think about
was
it.
he like
He came
walking
back.
from house to house and then he started hitting some stance in motion?
Some penetration steps, down block.
I might have done that, walk and then just hit a little jab step there,
Outside step. You should have followed up there. 2.5 points. That feels like a lot the way Tal Shahar's been wrestling. I think Hardy wins, but I love the line here.
I went Tal Shahar to cover.
I'm going Tal Shahar covers.
I agree with you guys on this.
Then we've got Chumbley.
I'm going Chumbley.
Really?
Magic. It's 2.5 points. So yes, I'm going Chumbley.
This one's tough for me. I'll go
Chumbley.
Rob.
3-1.
Yeah.
Just because Ben went Chumbley.
He's lost
Some
2
great
matches.
this weekend.
Yeah.
Coleman, Scott.
Yeah, Northwestern maybe in the 2 best duels. Ohio State, Rutgers is fun, as is Minnesota.
Rob's got a tough weekend ahead of him.
Nebraska. Yeah.
Chumbley and Brayton. If Brayton's decent. This one's tough for me. Because on the one hand, Chumbley is lost by 1 point and 2 points this year. Yeah. Is he due for a little bit of a return to somewhat of last year?
He's tough to beat because he can ride, he can escape, he's scrambly. So I think he's going to keep it relatively close.
He beat Brayton 8-4. He beat Garrett Model 6-1.
I could see Rob winning by 3 points, like a 5-2 type things. 2
And
takedowns and an escape.
The match against Brayton, I think he had riding time, and then Brayton took a shot with like a second left. He got to go behind, so it was a little closer than
I think that Rob would have to get to beat the line 3 or more. He'd have to get an end of the takedown, end of the period takedown. Where somebody's not going to get to escape. He gets taken down 5 seconds left, and it's easy ride out, something like that.
Any chance Chumbley wins this match?
Yes, very small.
Very small.
I'll take Chumbley. Feel like a coward there. I think I should have taken another, but it's okay. Glory Courtney. Glory 2.5 point favorite. I say Courtney covers this without hesitation.
I agree.
Wonderful.
All right, I ride with Pat.
What are the chances that Glory actually wrestles both the matches that we have on the line?
I think very small.
Okay. I agree with that sentiment.
Very, very small. Okay, we did it. We actually got all the things in.
Nice.
We're not going to get to questions.
Get picks.
We'll do Question Mega Show.
Question Mega Show tomorrow.
I will be here.
I won't.
I will be here.
I will hopefully be on a flight tomorrow.
They resumed mid-show.
Let's go. Hey, do you know
partially resumed.
Every plane was grounded in America this morning, Shane. Did you hear about this?
For what?
The total FAA shut down. I keep calling it the FFA. Can't take the boy out of Buffalo Gap. The computer
proud member
system,
of the FFA.
Oh yeah, I was in the FFA for sure. Anyways, every flight was grounded because of FAA troubles, computer stuff. But
really,
apparently we're back up. So hopefully I'll take a flight tomorrow.
Where are you headed, Christian?
Utah, baby, Park City. Let's go
for a
vacation. Yeah,
just nice.
It's gonna be fun.
Have fun.
Yes, sir. I plan on it. I'll be watching all the wrestling and stuff. Maybe I'll call into one of the shows, yell at Ben for something he said, but maybe not.
What?
But I gotta go. You gotta go.
Guys, can I ask you one quick question?
Yes.
I just want a quick.
You're not leaving, Paul.
Quick one.
I got one question.
We got questions.
My crazy Big Ten take of the year is that Carter Starachi does not give up a single takedown. Agree or disagree?
That's not a crazy.
That's not crazy. That'll probably if Vegas made
down
a line.
Big Ten.
It's more likely that he wasn't. Yeah, I completely agree. He's not giving up a takedown.
You agree?
Yep.
Yeah, that's
He's
not
a
a crazy take though.
Good.
If there was a complete wild card at that weight, but it's like his main competitor is Mackay and Labriola. Yeah, Labriola beat him. Like Mackay's not gonna probably take him down because Mackay's known for his crazy defense. Mikey very good, but they could maybe get him in a scramble.
Yeah.
Like a leg pass situation.
My guess is if somebody takes him down, it's Labriola. That's the guy that I think can do it because he probably wrestles him some more. I haven't looked at the schedule, but good. I feel better because I thought I was taking some heat for that for people. I'm like, I don't think it's crazy at all.
Crazy.
So now I feel better about myself.
Yeah, he's a smart guy, Shane. Don't you forget it.
All right, you guys have a good one.
Thank you, Shane. Thank you, Ben. Thank you, JD. And thank you to you for listening. See you tomorrow. Thank you. Goodbye.